Don't think about it, just do it. All right, y'all, I'm back with another one. Some of y'all know I've been knee deep in these AI tools, and the president of the NBMBAA reached out to me and wanted me to teach this to their organization. So I'm gonna give y'all all the strategies to keep in mind when you're talking about prompting. AI is not the future, it's the new advantage. So let's dive right in so you don't miss anything.
Okay, this skill is going to be utilized across all generations, all positions, all professions. Okay, everyone is going to eventually be using this here. Okay, these tools are everywhere right now, and most people are barely scratching the surface with. These are becoming everyday tools for everyone to be using. Now, I'm not an expert in this, all right, but I am a practitioner. Okay, so I've been using these tools. I don't think AI is, it's the new trend or anything, but I think it's here to stay, and it's about to shape everything we do going forward. Okay, so thank you for inviting me to this and presenting this subject. Wanting me to present this here to everyone because, as she was saying, we both agree this is a very important skill to learn. So let's just jump into it, right? And let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So real quick, we're gonna do a quick poll for us right now, just to check the temperature. I just want to know who I'm talking to. So, how are you, looking at AI right now? Or like, are you a one, you an enthusiast, you use it on a regular, you love it. Two, a casual user, you use it, but you're not strategically. Three, you a skeptic with it. Is it worth your time? Or four, you cooking up something else. What y'all doing? Like, where y'all at with this? Where y'all at? Let me know who I'm talking to. We got what we got? 20 people in here. Okay, we got a two casual user. Use it on the regular. Okay, one. Okay, two. Okay. Okay, you active. Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, all right, y'all in the right room tonight. Y'all in the right room. All right, perfect. Quick, a second. We're gonna do a poll again just to see like where y'all at. What tool are y'all using right now? Is it one ChatGPT, two Gemini? We got Claude. Copilot, DC, we got one and four. Okay. You got chat. You got chat. Somebody said other. What's the other? What's the other? Somebody use them all. Okay, perfect. All right, perfect. Now it doesn't matter which tool you use. That doesn't matter. What matters is how you use it, though, and that's what we're gonna be here to talk about today. By the way, anybody know what an LLM is or what it means, what it stands for? LLM. LLM, large language model. Large language model. I just want to say, Larry, okay, Larry, yeah, okay, Larry, okay, yeah, absolutely. Now, let me say this though. I've been using these tools for like 6, 8 months before I knew what an LLM was. All right, that's how much technical knowledge you. Okay, is very little, if necessary, of technical knowledge that you need, and that's the only technical question I'm gonna go over tonight. Everything is all about your mindset and how you use these tools. Now, I'm gonna just be frank with y'all. I use ChatGPT and Claude, right? Now, I like to use this analogy. Chat, when you got an idea, you go to chat. Chat is like it's like the friend, like the brainstorming buddy. You want to bounce quick ideas off of, quick feedback, build ideas on top of each other. You go to chat. Okay, it's more of a market analysis, data analysis type of tool. Once you got your tools or your idea set, okay, now you go to Mr. Claude. Okay, Claude is like your advisor, it's a strategic partner for you. More analytical, more strategic, more deeper thinking, gives you, step by step execution plan on, getting something done. Here's just a quick little clear breakdown between the two. But again, these are just the ones I use. You can use any of these LLMs out here. And but what we're gonna learn about today, you're gonna apply it. You can apply it to any of them. So most people that come across, and I hear, how most people are approaching AI. Is using it as like a search engine, asking random questions. treating it like a therapist, asking philosophical questions. Yeah, it could get you access to the presentation. And all that stuff is cool. All that stuff is cool of how you use it. But how I look at it, how I break it down, I look at it in two, a business perspective and a productivity perspective, right? How can I monetize this? How can I make money? How can I make this work for me? So I look at it like a strategic partner. AI, just like how it's coming about much bigger than the internet. We got billions of dollars, trillions of dollars of technology readily available for us at the tip of our fingers. You know, Information is available for anyone, open to everyone. So if that's the case, okay, well, information is there. Okay, well, then everything comes down to speed, you know, how you get your information. Everything all about speed. What took before now take 2 minutes. Now it take 2 minutes. Now keep in mind, AI is not meant to replace your thinking. It's meant to shorten the gap between your question and the insight, right? I don't look at AI to make the decisions for me. I look at AI to help me make faster decisions, right? We're no longer using a rowboat. We're using a speedboat now, right? So that brings the question, okay, what's the speed based on? How are we able to get better, quicker, profitable results? The quality of your prompt, ladies and gentlemen. The quality of your prompt determines the quality of your output. And that's the foundation of everything we're going to talk about today. This is the foundation, your quality of your prompt. Once you understand this, AI becomes incredibly powerful for you. It's no longer feeling average. So let's dive into it. We're going to do a quick sprint going over the highlights of how we approach this stuff. All right. So feel free to take some quick notes down. It'll also be in that Google Docs link that's in the chat. All the prompts that we're gonna go over, so y'all not gonna really miss nothing. This is more of a discussion. I'm gonna just run through of the highlights to keep in mind. You know, Otherwise you can also scan that QR code that's in each of these slides as well. So this session is all about moving the casual user, the tools. I mean, even if you're an enthusiast, you kind of skeptic, or even if you use it every day, it makes you more strategic of how you're using this stuff. Okay, even if it's just a little bit. So the core idea, again, the results are based on the quality of the prompt. We're going to shift the mindset of using AI like a strategic partner rather than some search engine. Okay. Now, when we talk about opportunity is everywhere right now. It's everywhere. We just getting started, especially if you have an entrepreneur spirit about yourself, even if you don't. But we're gonna see a lot of multi-million dollar one-person businesses out here just from taking advantage of AI and speeding up the process. But it's all about being intentional. Okay. And so what we're gonna learn about again is the prompting. We're gonna learn about role assigning, master prompts, voice modes, and how we can apply any of this in everyday life. So the things to keep in mind, again, the quality of your direction is gonna determine the quality of your answer. AI has no standards. You set the standard. You set the limitations to how the work it gives you. Okay, we're no longer asking AI what to do. You tell it who you are, who you talking to, and what needs to happen. Okay, and then the master prompt. The master prompt. It's not a shortcut, it's an infrastructure to what you're doing. So you build it out once and then you use it forever. All right. All right. So let's begin. Let's go. All right. So some of y'all might have seen this before. This is a structure of a prompt, right? Some of y'all might have seen this again. So we're looking at AI like a strategic partner who happens to be your assistant. Okay, so let's go down the structure. You got your role, given an identity. You can see an example. You given an identity. Then you give it a context, give it some background. Then you give it a task. Be intentional with what you want with your answers. And then you give it a format. Now the format, that's all that's your preference of how you want it. The most important things to remember here though is the role, the context, and the task. Always assign a role to it. Then give it context. Then tell it exactly what you want it to do. Okay, you're gonna start telling AI what to do. No more asking. We're not asking. This isn't Google. Okay, no more asking. You're gonna tell it what to do. This is the biggest shift right here. I don't go to IHOP and say, "Can I get some syrup?" Right? No, I already expect them to have syrup. I'll take the original. Thank you. All right, so let's jump into this first example. This first example, how and you'll see how powerful this is. And this just came up last week. I just added this to my slides a couple of days ago. So I was on the phone talking with somebody who works at the clerk office downtown, and they look over quick claim deeds. And some of those deeds they get denied. People had the wrong information, improper format, and they'll have to get denied. You know, find out what's wrong with it. I'm thinking in my head, okay, well, are they not using AI or any of these tools out here, ChatGPT or something? And so what I did, I plugged it into my tools myself. The same request, but it's two different outcomes. You can see the first one is very vague. Create a quick claim deed. Okay, well, you can see it's very generic. Could be any county, any state. This could be any document. It's not useful at all. But the second prompt you see is more intentional. It gives you real deliverables. It calls out the Wayne County specific using legal language, title company, letterhead. This kind of document can actually be used, showing the tax information, tax IDs, where to put it. The only thing that changed is the direction. How you direct it though. This is the entire point of this session. So this is a clear, structure, blank template that you can keep in mind. Always remember, give it a role, act as whatever role that they need to act in. The context, give it some background, who you are, what role, what's your job, what projects you're working on, who your audience is, who you talking to, what goal do you want to achieve. Then give it a task, provide, specific tasks, then a format. Okay, so just remember this structure here. So we just went over the role assignment. Now we're gonna go over the master prompt. Okay, so the master prompt is gonna save y'all a lot of time. Anyone ever encounter customer service, you explain the whole story to them. You going back and forth. You didn't even write nothing down. You wish you did. Then they transfer you over. Now you gotta re-explain the entire situation again. Okay, this is what it's like when you don't have a master prompt. Okay, the master prompt is the document you can upload to any AI tool, any of those LLMs that we was going over. Okay, so your master prompt, if you read it real quick. You are a world-class brand strategist and an executive coach who helps professionals build personal brands that open doors, attract opportunities, and generate income. Your job is to interview me, ask me one question at a time, conversationally, so we can build a master prompt together. So when you put this in, it's gonna just spit out, you tell it the job title that you have, who you're delivering value to. When you put this in, I'll recommend put it on voice mode, whether you're using a laptop or your phone. Put it on voice mode, then have a conversation with it. Voice mode, that changed the game, voice mode. Have a conversation and then tell it to download a PDF out of this. Now you can upload this to any LLM. If you use, ChatGPT this week, then you move to Gemini next week, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's no more re-explaining who you are, how you like your information delivered. None of that. It knows exactly how you want to receive something. So these are other example structures, right? I just want to, show y'all how, a prompt can be structured in a way. Act as a professional communication strategist. Help me write a confident email to whoever your recipient is about topic. My goal is to whatever your desired outcome is. Under 150 words, direct, warm, with clear next steps. Now, I know a lot of people that can use this. Some people be struggling writing some clear, succinct emails. Be dragging it on and everything. Myself included sometimes. I like to be direct, but I know through text, it might sound a little harsh or rude. I don't even got to worry about that anymore. I don't have to worry about that. Now, the worst thing you could do is, walk away from this session and, going back to the normal routine. So, I even put, a prompt in that you could use today. Whatever it is that you got going on, whatever. Act as a productivity strategist who helps busy professionals feel ahead instead of behind. Remember, give it that role. I have X amount of minutes before I fully check out for the night. Based on these 3 things I need to do tomorrow, list them out, give it context. Help me do small prep work tonight that will make tomorrow feel easy. Now, give it that direction. Whatever the task is, give it that direction. Tell me what to do, in what order, and how long each thing should take. Keep it under 20 minutes total. Give it that format. Again, the role, the context, and the task. That's the most important thing. Now, this isn't just about, corporate or working or anything like that. Again, I look at it as productivity as well. This for everyday use. This is what I'm saying. This is why I say, this is going to be used across generations. No matter who you are, young and old, everyone will eventually be adapting to this. This again, it's not about work. It's not about strategy. It's a Wednesday evening right now. You just came home from the grocery store. Instead of Googling recipe ideas and opening up 47 tabs, you tell AI exactly what you have from the store. It builds you out a week of gourmet meals, same prompt structure, same role assignment, but completely different context here. And that's what makes this a life skill. It's not a work skill here. So, the first prompt again, act as a gourmet chef. I just bought whatever random items you just bought from the store. Based on these ingredients, create X amount of gourmet meals I can make throughout the week, include breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and a meal that's going to impress guests. All right. All right, so this right here, this is how I actually talk to AI. Once you understand the structure and everything, okay, this is where a lot of people fall short. Not just because, they lack, the knowledge of AI, but because they're using it too passively. Don't use it passive. Don't just ask AI things, direct it. See, I direct it, I challenge it, I give it deadlines. Because, if it starts rambling and babbling, contradicting itself, I tell it directly, stop, reset, get to the point. We have a meeting in 2 hours, or our trip is in 3 days. You got to reset it sometimes. And this might be uncomfortable for a lot of folks, but it's not being rude, but it's being efficient, right? It's being efficient. That's what AI is responding to. So, just going over this, I say play devil's advocate. Challenge this idea. Tell me where this breaks. Who would disagree? Tell me what I'm not seeing. What didn't I mention, but I should keep this in mind. Be specific. Don't be vague with it. Like, the quit claim deed example is very vague. Be specific with what you want to do. Okay. When it comes to doing something, walking you through something, rather than how do I, you say guide me to. Okay. When you say how do I start a business in Michigan? Okay, well, you got to decide you want an LLC, C Corp, S Corp. Okay, once you do that, then fill out application on Michigan site, then wait a few days, get your EIN number. Okay, versus guide me to start a business in Michigan. All right, so you got to go to Laura.com, type up an interested business name. Once you have your business name set, okay, move forward with the application. This is what you'll do in this field for filling out a member. This is what you do in registered agent. It'll walk you through step by step with what you're trying to do when you're telling it to guide you through something. And then again, set the clock, reset the tone. Stop over explaining yourself. We have a meeting in 10 minutes. You know, you set the limitations to this. And then also one last one I didn't even add on this is when you talking about something brand new, tell it, explain this to me like I'm 10 years old. Right? You'll learn quantum physics in 10 minutes. But it's about breaking it down in an easy, simple way. Okay. All right. So just coming down to the end here of how you can start using this, strategically today. Remember the master prompt. If you can't get to it today, attempt to get to it this week. It's going to save you a lot of time. Again, it's about speed. It's about speed. Use the prompts today and start directing. No more asking AI, something. Direct it. Be intentional with what you're looking for. Assign it a role every time. You don't have to assign it in multiple times in the conversation, but at least assign it at the beginning. And you could change directions within the conversation. If you do, again, assign it then. But always assign a role. So it's telling it from that perspective. You want to do a marketing campaign, act as a strategic, I like to use adjective, the top 5 sought after strategic marketer in the world. I give it all of it. Use voice mode, build context, talk through your projects, your goals, challenges. The voice mode is very useful. Use these prompts to save time. See, now the prompts are just the foundation. Once you understand prompts, okay, then the next level is going to be workflows, creating automated workflows for yourself. Then you'll go into AI agents and everything. But that's not important right now. But what's important is understand, just prompting. And then keep iterating. Don't start over. That quick claim deed I showed at the beginning, that was the first iteration. I didn't say anything else after that. It was just one iteration. I didn't say, okay, what are the red flags that might pop up? What else am I missing? I didn't build on any of it. First prompt. So always iterate. If it's one takeaway though, I say is, AI it doesn't replace your judgment though. It just amplifies it. Again, it doesn't make the decisions for you. It just helps you make faster decisions. And those who take advantage of that is going to stay ahead of this curve, ahead of this market out here of actually directing the AI what to do. So that's essentially that's the entire message of what we're doing here. And I'll open it up to any questions. Anybody uses something else, anything I spoke on or commented on. I'm happy to bounce ideas as well. But I do want to. Go ahead.
I found success with asking AI. Illuminate to
Yeah.
me, how would you ask this task or this prompt?
Ask what? Say that again.
Like I found success with AI by saying, hey, I need this and this done. Illuminate to me how you would ask this task. So I'm always asking like AI, how would they ask for this? Or how would they write the prompt for this?
Okay. So how would they write the prompt? And who is they? That's what I'm trying. And
And no,
who
I
is
ask
they?
whatever AI I'm using. Like, hey, AI, I'll name my AI Ace. Ace, I need drug
Okay.
map for my class, mechanisms, names, this and that. But before doing this task, how would you ask this prompt? And that's what I do. And I use whatever it put in to produce the products that I want.
He's reverse engineering uh, the prompt, asking AI to help generate what that prompt should sound like, is what I'm hearing you
Oh,
say.
I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I see what you're saying. I do that as well, especially when it comes to generating images. Okay, I'll say, act as a professional photographer right now and create this powerful, successful prompt that's going to generate this type of image, and I'll describe details on it. Okay, and then what I do is I'll put that in something like in Claude, and then I'll put that into ChatGPT. Okay, so I'll use it against each other, and I think it's a term for that called prompt chaining or something like that. But I that's what I'll mostly do to create different prompts. I'll use them against each other if that makes sense.
I do the same thing. I actually don't do just the pairing. Like I tell Chat, see, DeepSeek did this better. This is why I use this AI than you. And then next thing you know, Chat like, well, let me try to fix it or this and that. But I also use them in competition with each other, upload the prompt and see who can give me a better one. I also do that with DeepSeek.
Exactly, exactly, absolutely, absolutely. And what do you use DeepSeek for? I'm curious. What do you mostly use it for?
Well, I use it to teach me material. It's great at teaching me material that was not taught good by my professors. And like to me, DeepSeek gives me like the fifth grader explanation. Make sure I understand it. It's very well written. I can show you upload or a screenshot of how DeepSeek just explains the material to me better than chat.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I use DeepSeek for a little second. It's real good on research. That and Perplexity is real big on like just deep research.
So if
Yeah,
it's okay
absolutely.
with you, I'll upload a prompt that I had AI create, and then I'll
Yeah.
show you the product of it.
We have any other questions? Any comments? I want to thank Josiah for coming and presenting this material again, because sometimes when we don't understand or we have no experience using something, it can be intimidating. And one of the things that we talked about as we were going through framing up the workshop is, what do people really need? How can they have a significant takeaway from this evening in a short period of time? But I think the next step is really the application of it. And I hope that you'll take the notes that he shared, the tips, and try to do some practical application. Start working on your personalized prompts, and then from there, maybe we can get together again and do a hands-on, because I think when you do the hands-on, it really makes the difference. And using different AI tools makes a big difference. He didn't talk a lot about, the generative part of it and how it gets better as you iterate. But I think that that's important as well, and maybe we can focus on that in the future. I see that Jamal has his hand up.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, iteration is key. Yeah, don't just stop on the first one.
Hey, yeah, I had a quick question for you, Josiah. First and foremost, great presentation, very informative of how to use prompting for AI. I know for ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, they have paid subscription services, and I was curious if you ever used any of them and if they're worth the money.
Oh yeah, I use all of them. I use all of them. If you as far as like voice mode, you'll get a less amount of time to utilize it. It cuts you off. The images. I mean, it's really more the same. You'll be able to use it longer though if you have the paid version. And then also if you have the paid version, you'll have access to like AI agents. Like for ChatGPT, you will get the paid version. I believe the 19.99 $20 one, you'll get access to like an AI agent, and it just started like working for you. It's man, this stuff is powerful. It'll do like, and it depends on how much you want it to have access to like your information as well, because it could like draft emails, but you'll have to connect it to your email and all. But outside of that, as far as like data research and finding information for you, whether you're in real estate or marketing or whatever it is you're trying to do, act as a travel agent, book me the best trip in Cancun for 3 days with three people, whatever it is you want to do, it's going to deliver it to you. This stuff here, it works just as good as whatever direction you giving it. That's the key there though. You gotta give it direction. Yeah, I know this is like, more so Zoom and all. Like, I mean, we could definitely go into, or I mean, next time go into as far as iterations and just workflows and all. I know we had a limited amount of time, but as long as y'all know how to prompt, that's the key there. That's the key. And then um, those other tips or whatnot, I say you'll do this while you're talking with it, while you're doing those iterations. Just keep these things in mind and just build on top of it. But tell it for sure. Give it a clock, give it a time limit, or tell it you want your information right now because it could babble with you forever. That's one of the big things I be hearing about folks. They'll start using it and their procrastination goes up because it's just so much information. You building on top of it, building on top. Yeah, absolutely. But you gotta, know to tell it like, all right, we gonna start here. We gonna put things into action. All right. Yeah, it can go forever.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I want to say a big thank you for everyone who was able to join, whether it was live or through playback. Hopefully, you're able to take one of these strategies away and implement it today. I want to say thank you again for National Black NBA Association for wanting me to share this to everyone. Go ahead, connect with them, y'all. You don't need an MBA to join. They're always looking to provide financial literacy, entrepreneurship, professional development for those in the community that's looking for a resource. And connect with them through any of these QR codes with LinkedIn, Facebook, GroupMe, Instagram. Good opportunity to network. And if you want to catch me live, you can catch me this Saturday at the Little Caesars headquarters downtown for the Compass Detroit International Women's Day Innovation Summit, where I go into further details. And I'm gonna end it there. Y'all take care. Thanks again for the invite. Till next time, stay tuned. Don't think about it, just do it.